Thanks, Deb. Australia's obsession with property shows no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, a new report from Domain out this morning reveals some surprising news on how the market is tracking. Domain's senior economist, Dr. Andrew Wilson, is here. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What does it show?
Well, look, mixed results again, I guess, but I suppose the first point is that the Sydney market's still growing, but not quite as strong as it was, certainly not as strong as it was at the end of last year, up by 1.6%, and that median is now just under $1,200,000.
Isn't that extraordinary?
It is extraordinary, but I think Melbourne's now taken over as the big mover in Australian housing markets. It was up by 3.5% over the quarter.
Wow.
Melbourne house prices now up by 15.1% over the past year, and it's heading towards a $900,000 median.
So still a little bit behind Sydney, but that's the biggest growth around Australia?
Yes, it is, and I think it'll continue. Very strong migration into Melbourne. That's clearly what's driving that market, and of course affordability compared to Sydney is still very much a positive.
We know WA, with the mining downturn, has had its dramas, and property-wise it's had its dramas. Any other states that have gone down?
Well, look, there was a slight fall in Brisbane, down by just 0.1%.
Is that apartment-related?
No, well, look, apartments down 5.5% in Brisbane, so those prices are still falling, and I think apartment prices in Brisbane will continue to go down, but of course a lot of new supply in that market, and some rebalancing I think will happen over the medium term, but at the moment prices falling in Brisbane for units.
Okay, and whatever else they're falling?
Well, look, Perth again down 1.8%. We thought the Perth market perhaps was levelling off at the end of last year, but it's continuing to fall. Needs some work on the local economy there. Adelaide up 0.9%, steady Adelaide, quite a robust market really, given that it's an underperformer in terms of its economy, and its house prices are up by 6.6% over the year. So a positive market there in Adelaide, but certainly all the buzz is about Melbourne at the moment, and heading towards that $900,000 median perhaps this year, and maybe $1 million median next year.
Stop it.
Yeah, well, and then everyone will go back to Sydney and
well,
start buying there again.
It's a merry-go-round, isn't it?
What's happening with rentals?
Well, look, rents were flat for houses in Melbourne and Sydney over the June quarter, but we've seen an increase of nearly 5% in both Melbourne and Sydney for house rents, and house rents are growing faster than incomes at the moment.
Wow.
Which is not good news if you're a tenant. And similarly, we saw prices growing for units in Melbourne and Sydney over the past year, again stronger than income. So, look, some tough times for tenants in the marketplace, and really a chronic shortage of rental properties in Melbourne and Sydney.
Okay, just quickly, trends moving forward?
Well, look, I think that we'll continue to see prices growth in Sydney, but not as strong as we saw at the end of last year. Of course, low interest rates have driven higher prices, and the outlook for interest rates is certainly flat going forward. But I think prices growth will continue upwards in Melbourne, and that is the strong mover in the housing markets, and flat market in Brisbane generally.
Melbourne is the new black in
It's
property.
the new black. Yeah, get in there.
Andrew, thank you. You have a great day.